We fly in a twin-engine plane and arrive at Lukla Airport, the world's most dangerous airport with a runway of approximately 529 meters. The airport is perched on the side of a mountain at an altitude of 2,800 meters. We disembark and immediately start trekking towards Pakting. The snow-capped Himalayan mountains provide a spectacular backdrop to Lukla. We walk through beautiful Sherpa village, cross sway bridges over the stunning Dukosi River Gorge. The bridges are decorated with colorful Nepalese prayer flags. The walk to Pakting at an altitude of 2,610 meters was surprisingly downhill, a slow and gradual process that took about 4 hours. This part is used by humans, donkeys, horses, and we had to continually move aside to give way to animals. We spent our first night in Pakting after having a shower in a bathroom outside. The trek from Pakting to Namche took about 7.5 hours. It is one of the most difficult days and several steep climbs on our first day at high altitude. Our guide kept telling us Bastari Bastari, which means slowly, slowly. It is also the scariest day as we cross over high bridges in the Kumu region, a bridge about 75 meters long, 140 meters above a fast-flowing river. Behind us you will see the high bridges that takes us to Namche Bazaar. But first we have a steep climb ahead on difficult terrain to arrive at the bridge. Supplies and timber is carried on the mountain either by Sherpas, donkeys or yaks. Here is a heavy laden Sherpa carrying timber supplies on his back. Along the route to Namche is a viewpoint where we get to see views of Everest, but we get caught in the rain so we do not get a clear glimpse of Everest. We arrive at our lodge wet and exhausted. Namche is the biggest town in the Kumu region and the main trading post. We spend 2 nights here to acclimatize. We trek high and sleep low. Thankfully, we enjoy hot showers at Namche, which turns out to be our last bathe on the trek. We start to feel the effects of high altitude. Both of us suffer headaches. Sheila suffers nosebleed while I felt nauseous. That did not stop us from touring the area and visiting the local butcher and open markets. The trek was extremely strenuous and exhausting. The Sherpas call the route to Tengboche Nepalese flat, which means slight incline. The area is lush with green fir trees that look like carpet. Brightly colored rhododendrons, Nepalese local flower, line the pathway. The path is narrow and we have to ensure we walk close to the mountainside to avoid being pushed off by yaks. This is the most beautiful place in the Himalayas. The walk is never ending and takes about 6 to 7 hours. The largest stupa in the Kumbh region, that is the temple which is located in Tengboche. The Sherpas are very superstitious and religious. They insist on obtaining the Lama's blessing before going any higher to the mountain. We visit the Buddhist temple early in the morning after getting our first views of Mount Everest. Tengboche is at an altitude of 3,867 meters. Once again we descend to the river and cross more bridges. We pass through villages, get sneak previews or views of Everest in between the clearing. As we trek, the landscape changes, the lush vegetation, trees begin to vanish. It becomes more difficult to breathe. After trekking 7 hours, we arrive at Tengboche at an altitude of 4,358 meters. This is the coldest we have been so far. We spend 2 nights here. The next day is another acclimatization day, and we trek up to an altitude of 4,730. The cost of water becomes more expensive, as does the cost of charging our cell phones. Every evening we purchase boiling water in bottles, which we place in our sleeping bags to warm our feet. Leboche is at an altitude of 4,928 meters. Initially the path is steep, but then levels out. After lunch, we tackle the infamous Tukla Pass and get caught in a snowstorm that lasts for 90 minutes. We continue trekking these frigid conditions, and both of us reach near hypothermia state. This was by far the most difficult climb yet. At the top of the pass, we arrive at the memorial, which is a tombstone for trekkers who died on EBC and Mount Everest summit. We welcome this break after the near-death steep incline we have just completed. With a grin, our guide tells us, if you can do this, you can do anything. We get views of Pomori, West Everest, Amadablan. We depart early and walk towards Gorefshep on a windy and rocky path. We see Mount Pomori, Nupsi, Kalapata, which means the Black Rock. From Kalapata, trekkers are able to get an amazing view of Everest, so it is a popular trekking route. This place is dry and barren. It is freezing cold and we sleep with 3 layers of clothes, hats, scarves, and we place hot water bottles in our sleeping bag. This place has the most disgusting toilets in the world. From Gorakshep, we walk to base camp on a glacier. As we walk, we hear crackle, the sound of ice breaking underneath our feet. The path is wet and muddy. The path changes every year due to the movement of the glacier. The walk is strenuous due to high altitude and thin air. We navigate over and around large, huge boulders, rocky dunes, streams. Progress is slow. From a distance, we see small yellow dot, which turns out to be tents at the base camp.
Good morning, it's 10:30. Right here at Everest Base Camp. Sheila and I have just arrived. It's pretty cool, pretty interesting. It is 18th May 2017. In the background you can see an array of mountains, but we don't have a good glimpse of the Mount Everest, the highest mountain in the world. She's just taking a bit of a break. In the background we come now and see a few of the tents where the climbers are prepared to go out. Further up north there is the Khumbu icefall and more tents. Remarkable.
For Sheila, it is a dream come true, for finally we get first-hand views of the magnificent, majestic and amazing Khumbu icefall.